everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel, Favor's Flavor. My name is Favor. I'm so excited to see you guys today. I hope you guys like this video. I hope you subscribe if you haven't already. So today's video is going to be about my January TBR. Honestly, I debated on whether to have a TBR for January or not since I've been mood reading a lot. But these are the books that I've come up with, and every single book I have on this TBR except for one is from my physical TBR on my bookshelf. So I'm really like honing on my goal for next year to read my physical TBR. So let's get right into it. We're going to start with the one book that I don't have physically, and this book is from one of my book clubs. Thankfully, it is on Kindle Unlimited, so I don't have to get a physical book, and that book is Broken Clocks by Danielle Allen. So this year I read Covergirl Summer and Plus Size Player by Danielle Allen, and I really enjoyed her writing, so it would be really nice to see what her older books feel like. This was picked by one of my book club members. I'm excited to read this book. Honestly, eventually I want to like read authors that I love today. I want to read their catalog and see how they've progressed as writers. So the next book I want to talk about is Love and Color by Bolu Babalola. So if you're not under a rock, she came out with Sweet Heat this year, and I also read Sweet Heat and Honey and Spice this year as well, and I had good times with both books. I believe I rated Honey and Spice 4 stars and Sweet Heat like a 4.5, maybe a 5 stars. This is a only other book that I haven't read, and this is a short story collection, and if you guys know, I love short story collections, so that's this one. It's not a big book at all, about 300 pages, and I'm just excited to see what her writing is like in a book like this that's not like a full story, if that makes sense. So that's this book. So the next book I want to read in the month of January is Greek Schizology by Sania Breyer. So she's an independent author. She's someone that interacts with my channel a lot. So this book is also a collection of short stories, but it is based around the world of Greek mythology. So this book is definitely like different for me, but I was just like, you know what? Why not read a book that I feel like might challenge me a little bit? Plus, it's a collection of short stories, so I don't feel like it should be too bad for me to read. And I'll let her know once I start reading it, so if I have any questions, she'll be able to like, you know, assist me. But if you guys don't already do it, make sure you support independent authors. So a lot of independent authors are on Amazon, unfortunately, but if you can support them, please support them. So this is an author. I believe she has another book that I haven't read, but if you're someone that is looking for a new topic to read about, maybe Greek mythology might be your thing. So that's this book right here. The next book I have is probably going to be the first book I read in the new year, just because she was basically my favorite author of 2025, I think, and that's Kennedy Ryan. I have the Hoop series, so this is Long Shot by Kennedy Ryan. I have all 3 books in the series, so eventually I want to read all 3 of them in the year of 2026, but I'll be starting with this one. And I know this is like a really hard book to read. There's a lot of trigger warnings, so if you're someone that's going to pick it up, just make sure you check the trigger warnings. I know this is like a sports romance. Honestly, it's Kennedy Ryan. She could write about like baby diapers. I probably would read it, so I'm excited to read this book. The next book I have in the month of January is Only Big Bum Bum Matters by Dame Larry Cuckoo. So I read Nearly All the Men in Lagos Are Mad, a collection of short stories, and I really enjoyed that book. And I know this is her other book that's like really popular, and I think she just came out with another book that I might like look into getting next year. But this is also a book that I'm just like, it's short. I believe it's definitely under 300 pages. Yep, it's about 250 pages, and I believe I can use my Spotify listening hours for the audiobook. So this is one that I'm excited to read, and I just know it's gonna be funny. Just from, if you've read any of Dame Larry Cuckoo's writing, you know she's like a joke star in a way. And even just from the title of this book, I already know I'm probably gonna have a good time with this book. So the next book I want to read in the month of January is Up This Our Country, and it's by a collection of writers. So every single writer on the back of this book right now all have stories or essays in this book. And this is one that I wanted to read back in October, but I was just like, you know what, why not read it in the month of January? It's a great way to start the year. And of course, the whole aspect of being a collection of essays, and if you know me, I love that. And this is one that is, every single author in this book are Nigerians, and this is all of them giving stories about their experience and how they feel about Nigeria. So I can't wait to read this book, and this is one I'll definitely recommend, even though I've not read it, for anyone that's like Nigerian. and wants to like get into more Nigerian books, because a lot of the popular authors are on this. There's Ayobami Adebayo, there's Chimamanda, there's Bolu Babalala on this too. So there's a bunch of people that I can see that, you know, if you liked their stories in here, it would be a good segue to like get a full book by them. So I can't wait to read this book. So the next 3 books, honestly, let me talk about this book because this is like a book of shame for me. Not really because of my fault. Let me explain. This book has definitely been on my November and my December TBR, and it's now on my January TBR. This is because my other book club, I'm in 2 book clubs. My other book club, we have still not met to discuss Wild Dark Shore, and we need to discuss that. I think we might be meeting this week. I don't know. It's just so hard to get a bunch of healthcare workers together, especially when we all have different schedules. And that book is How to Save Babylon by Sophia Sinclair. I've had to suspend my position on Libby for the audiobook because it's come up available like twice now already, but it's not been time for me to read it. So the only reason why I haven't like literally started reading this book is because I'm waiting for my book club. And honestly, I would be a little upset if I still don't get to read it by January, but I think we should. If not, I'm going to just read it by myself and pick another book. And the reason why I'm like so adamant about reading this book is because this is my pick for the book club. So that's why I don't want to like start reading it before everybody else. I want to read it at the same time as everybody else. So that's this book. So the last 2 books are books that I may or may not get to. These are the ones that like, if I can get to them, cool. If I cannot, cool. So the first one is Summer Dinner by Akwaeke Emezi. So this is a YA book by Akwaeke Emezi, and they're really someone that I'm really excited to get into their books, and this is the only YA book of theirs that I have. So I was like, if I'm gonna like, I guess, get into their books, this is a great way to start. And I've heard a lot of good things about this book. It came out this year actually. I'll be excited to read it. And it's fantasy, which is something that I'm still struggling with a little bit. So it'll be nice to read fantasy novel by a Nigerian that's also YA. So hopefully those 2 things together would help me like read the book and enjoy it. So the last book I have up here is In Every Mirror She's Black by Lola Akimade Akestrom. So I actually just got the second book in this series to this book, and I'm just like, well, if you have the second book, maybe you should try to read the first book as fast as you can, right? So that's why this book is my TBR. But honestly, I'm looking at it, I'm just like, we'll see if I get to it. Not because I don't like the book, but because, I don't know, knowing how I've been acting the last month with my mood reading, I just know that these 2 books might get kicked off the chopping block, especially if something else comes up, like an arc or something. So those are all the books I want to read in the month of January. I hope this video has been short. I didn't want it to be very long, and we'll see how the month goes. I hope you guys have enjoyed the video. I hope you like, and I hope you comment and subscribe, and see you in my next video. Bye.